Hello everyone, I am back again for a quick update. So one of the cars I own is a 1953 retro Corvette that is on a C5 Corvette chassis. Uh, so the horn didn't work. I haven't driven it since I got my C8. Honestly, I kind of feel bad about neglecting it. It looks pretty bad. Anyway, and it sat outside. So the horn didn't work, so I had to fix the horn. Either fix it or replace it. Well, luckily I have a lot of C5 Corvettes, so what did I do? Stole the horn assembly out of another Corvette and put it in there. Seemed easy enough. One bolt holding it in, one wire connector to connect, and 15-minute job maybe. Well, obviously it wasn't. It was way more than that. The issue was, one, whoever torqued the bolt down to hold the horn assembly in there, they put on way more torque than should have been there. So I had to get a bunch of extensions so I could get some leverage on it. I couldn't do it with a normal ratchet. Of course, the other issue is I'm too lazy to go jack it up and do it that way. I was trying to do it without jacking it up. And that's it. So I get it off, get the new horn assembly put on, and the wires won't reach to get to the horn when it's down where I can see it. So after fiddling with it a while, trying to just put it on there, I couldn't get it on. So I decided I would bolt it down and then try to push the wire on. Well, the issue was that they had tie wrapped all the wiring harness up because there's a lot of factory wires they didn't use, and there was virtually no slack in that wire that went to the horn. So the horn had to be in place to get it on there. There's very little access room. So while it only took me 15 minutes or so to swap out the horns, the problem was it took me at least 30 minutes to get that plugged in. But I finally did. Those of you that aren't familiar with horns and how they work, this is a horn assembly. There's that plug. I could get the wire to start, but I could not get it to clip. It's held down by that one bolt right there that was over tightened. And if you look, you can see those screws right there that have potting on them. Well, the way a horn works is you put 12 volts in this case to it, or electricity, and it causes a diaphragm to vibrate, and that makes the noise. Well, you can turn that screw and you can change the pitch, or you can completely kill the horn by doing that. So one of my options would have been to try to adjust those screws and get this horn to work, which I may do later, but I'm not going to do now. And so instead I just swapped out the whole horn assembly. Let me show you why that was more difficult than it should have been. If you come here and look, the horn, the bracket goes underneath here, and you can actually see, I think, if I get it, there it is right there. See, there's the bracket and there's the single bolt. So if it wouldn't have been so tight, it wouldn't have been that hard to get loose. But I ended up using a whole bunch of extensions. There you go. So that I could get to it while it was outside. So that put the ratchet out here where I could get leverage on it, because I couldn't do it underneath the car. So I got it off, got the new one on, had to tighten it in place because I couldn't get that plug to push in. You can see there's the horn assembly right there. The problem is, I doubt you can see it, but they tied up all the wires. Yeah, you can't see it. Anyway, they did, and there was no slack. That blue plug that you can see there, that's what had to plug in. So it did. It literally took me 30 minutes to get that thing on there and clipped in. But it's done, and now it's time to test. Oh, so what happened is, over the last several years, first one of the horns quit honking. So each horn has a high and a low pitch. One of them, the low pitch, had stopped working. Had a high pitch. I didn't care. It passed inspection. But then it went out. So then I had none. Now I have an absolutely working horn. So, like I said, I have not driven the car since I got my C8s. And so, what was that? January, February, March, April of this year. I haven't driven it. It is now November. Oh, and the battery was, of course, dead. These old Corvettes, they're not old, C5, this is a 2003 anniversary car. But they have a slow drain, And you hear about it all the time. And of course, the solution is just put it on a trickle charger. Well, with as many cars as I have and them being parked outside, I don't have enough extension cords and trickle chargers to go around. I need to do something about that. All right, so close it. And just so you'll see, I'll give you a walk around of this car. Like I said, it's been sitting outside. Some people would accuse me of car abuse. That's okay. I probably deserve it. But I've just got so many projects going on. This is not one of mine. This one I bought years ago while I was designing one of my previous cars, just to get me through. So I can't drive or hate to drive a normal car. And yes, I have a trailer hitch on it. I've actually hauled a U-Haul trailer behind this thing. And if you keep up with my videos, I actually got a blowout on the trailer while I was towing. So then they had to come and fix the trailer. I was stuck at the side of the road. Always an adventure, always. If it's not, I'm not involved. Another thing that unfortunately happened, I was towing this and the tire blew out on my truck and came back and actually hit the car on the trailer. So it broke it right there. Got to get that fixed one of these days. This was my daily driver for a couple of years. Then I got my Prowler. I had a job that was farther away and I didn't want to put a lot more miles on this, so I bought a Prowler. This thing had 8,000 miles on it when I bought it, and it was 10 years old then, at least 10 or 15 years old. Only had 8,000 miles on it. Go buy my Prowler, same thing, 8,000 miles on it, and it was, 13, 15 years old. I don't believe in letting cars sit, well, purposely. So I put a lot of miles, not a lot, but way more than it got before. I probably doubled the mileage on each of these cars. All right, so that's where I'm at now. Now the time is to go get it inspected. I have to have an inspection and insurance, which I keep insurance. So I gotta go get it inspected, and then I have to go online and register the tags. All right, that's all I've got for now. Like, subscribe, hit the alert. If you want to, hit the thanks and donate. And if you don't know what I'm doing, you don't know Jack. Bye.